All right, so Fired Up Fridays is now Fired Up Freedom. I just want to do a little bit of a recap of season one. It was amazing. I had so much fun, a lot of amazing guests, a lot of great conversation. It was really, really awesome. If you're someone who wants to have a growth mindset, if you're someone who wants to take action and go toward your goals, then Fired Up Freedom is great for you. It doesn't matter if your goal is financial or personal. And now that we're moving into season two, we're going to be talking a lot of different things surrounding freedom.
And I kept pushing it off. But every once in a while, like the lyrics would still come back to me. And I was like, I got to go and record it. I have to. I don't. So I just want to make relatable music. And I really just want people to be inspired by the story to keep going and don't live in the what if. At the time, at the place where I was, that was my story. That was my truth. And I'm going to feel comfortable 10 years from now saying, yeah,
Yeah. Well, hello there, family. You're listening to Fired Up Freedom with Steve Ryan. Fired Up Freedom. All right. Come and tap into the world of the freedom community. Do you love having conversations with other like-minded people? Then the Freedom Family community is great for you. Visit steveryan.com today. Hey, what's going on? This is Steve Ryan with Fired Up Freedom, which used to be Fired Up Friday. So now you're about to see season 1, episode 20. Had to double check that one. This one, you're going to meet Jay Montae. She lives in Tennessee. She's from somewhere else, but she's going to share about her story of persistence, how she found her voice. It's really, really cool. So you're going to see this, it's a link in the description. I believe that should take you to a video where she did this nice music video. So really, she's a mother, she's a wife, really, really inspirational. And she didn't give up on her dreams. She did not give up on her dreams. And she had this vision in her head that she wanted to find her voice. And she took some time, but she did. She found her voice. So introducing Jay Montae coming up on this episode. All right, this is Fired Up Freedom. Here it goes. Fired Up Friday is now Fired Up Freedom.
What's up? Welcome to Fired Up Friday. Woohoo! We got Miss Jay Montae in the house.
Hey,
How you feeling today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're on the show. It's nice to have you. Yeah,
Nice.
I've had a chance to hear your I'm Broke song. I'm feeling that.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So what inspired that song? Like,
Truthfully, realness, like inspired that song. So the background story behind it, I had just made a move to Nashville to like live out dreams and whatnot with my now husband. And he was going to be a screenwriter. I was going to be this big time songwriter. And like a month into us being out here, we found out we were with child. And it was like, okay, what do we do now? Like, how is this going to work? Do we like thug this out in Nashville or do we head back home and just try again later? And we decided we were going to thug it out. But at that time, like we were in that whole, I'm going to be a starving artist mode. But it's like, we can't do that now because we have a kid on the way. And I was just at work When I came up with the song and I had like $1 and some change to my name, I was hungry. Like it was just like out of nowhere, I just said, I'm broke. And the hook just kind of flowed from there. And I started like writing out every single thing that I was feeling as far as like what my situation was, what my financial status was. And it just all came together. So that's
Wow.
really the inspiration behind it. Like it's a fun and catchy tune, but it's like something that came from a real place in my life. And it's also something that is very relatable across the board for other people as well.
Right. Wow. That is an inspiration. And it's like when you came up with that song and that music within you, like I know this may sound a little redundant, but like how were you feeling when you finished those lyrics, when you finished that song? Like what was that feeling?
I felt like I had something. I felt like I had something because truthfully, I wrote that in like, I want to say that was 2016 when I wrote it. And I kept pushing it off. I kept pushing it off. But every once in a while, like the lyrics would still come back to me. And I was like, I got to go and record it. I have to. I don't know how it's going to get done, but I'm going to have to record a song. But I knew I had something. I just didn't
Yeah.
know like it was something because everybody I talked to, they're like, yo, I played your song like 20 times. Like
Yeah.
it's so relatable. It's so catchy. It's a bop. It's like realness, but it's not like, oh, woe is me. It's a lot of things, and I feel like a lot of people relate to it. So it just caught wind really fast, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I love that song. I was like, wow, I can't wait to talk to her on the show because like that song is popping. I mean, and then I mean just the video. We got her YouTube channel up right now, and just the video, like what was behind like the video? Because it's a pretty good video.
Okay, so my husband, I told you he was a screenwriter, right? He actually
Mhm.
co-directed my videos. So shout out to my husband, Carlton Fripp. Um, just want to put a shameless plug in there. But a lot of people don't know this, but on top of being an artist, I'm an educator, like through and through. I'm a music educator. And what I really wanted to highlight in this music video was a lot of the struggles that educators go through. And I feel like the pandemic really, it didn't like, it didn't showcase anything new. It just brought to light what was already our struggle. So, like the beginning of the video, you see me stealing from a store to give supplies to kids. Like that happens way more than you think. It's like we're continuously like pouring from an empty well. Like we may not take care of ourselves, but we're going to make sure our kids in the classroom are good. You see my car breaking down. You see me hiding from the person that I stole from in the midst of a protest. And like if you pay attention to a lot of the protest signs, it's talking about all the things that teachers have been advocating for over the past couple of years. So like that music video, like it meant a lot to me, and I really wanted to highlight what had been going on in the world of education in that video. And of course, the lyrics is something that a lot of educators can relate to because we don't get paid enough for what we're doing. It's a whole lot of work and not a whole lot of pay. So,
Right.
yeah, I really wanted to showcase the issues in our educational system through that music video. So that was the goal, and I think
Wow.
we accomplished it.
I believe so too. Like, what year did you do that video?
We did that this summer. So I got out of school in May. We had casting calls, and we started at like the beginning of June or something like that, either the end of May, early June.
Oh, of this year?
Hmm.
Oh wow, because it looks really good. Like it looks like whoever did that knew what they. So your husband, hats off to him. He.
Yeah, it was a whole squad. It was like Henry Mullins, he was the director. My husband was the co-director, videographer. Philip, I can't remember his last name, so forgive me. The editor, Jonathan Giles, he's amazing. Like The whole team was just flat out amazing. We did an open casting call, and like the turnout was really, really great. I'm so appreciative of everybody who was there. And me being the educator that I am, I always try to like look out for my students and provide them with opportunities. We had like this music and film unit that I taught them, and they had to make their own short films. So one of my students, he just like did an amazing job. And I was like, he has a lot of potential in this. So I asked him if he wanted to be our little intern for the music video. That was probably one of the highlights, just like seeing him behind the camera and taking notes and calling out different shots and whatnot. So yeah, it was a lot. The video was a lot of fun. And I was so happy everybody just rallied together to get that done.
Yeah. Well, everybody, you have to check out the video. It's actually under Jasmine Fripp on YouTube. But if you type in "I'm broke Jay
Jay
Montae,"
Montae.
then
Mhm.
it'll come up because I typed it in and that's what came up. It really is a dope video. Like it's awesome. Like I that was my first time hearing that song and I was like, wow. I was definitely like, I have to talk to her about this song because it speaking of, so what are some of the, if you want to share, what are some of the problems with the educational system that you feel should be spoken about?
Definitely teacher pay. I think just like a lot of jobs right now, like I think the pandemic shed a lot of light on working conditions, and like a lot of people had a whole year and a half to really think about like, do I want to go back into work or not? And a lot of teachers pieced out. And it was like, no, absolutely not. And then some districts, they want masks, some districts don't want masks. That's a whole thing. So teacher shortage with reason is a problem. Just the pay, a lot of testing. Like I know back in our time, we had some tests, but the amount of tests they take now, who Lord, mm-mm. It's a
Wow.
lot. They're constantly being tested. Classroom structures, just it's a lot. It's a lot. It's just needs to hit the restart button on the system. Let's try this again. So yeah.
Wow. And like so with your music, what would you like to accomplish with your music as people are catching on?
One, I want to inspire people to pursue their dreams, no matter the situation. Like you can, for example, we've already talked about this. I was with Child when I originally wrote this, and it may have taken a little longer for me to put that music out there, but I think it was the perfect time when I did it. And we could have easily just like packed up and gone home, but it's harder to live out your dreams, especially when life just happens. But I want to really empower people to just go for it. It's scary, it really is. But what I don't want for myself and what I don't want for other people is to constantly live in their what if. What if I were to actually pursue this? What if I were to actually like taking the chance and like just went for it? So I really want to encourage people with my music or just my story to go out there and get it. And then I also want to make music that is just relatable. I want to make it plain. Like I'm one of those people, I have no problem with telling my story and telling like, hey, this happened, learn from this. Or just like I don't ever like people feeling like they're alone. Like they're just going through what they're going through alone. So in my music, I really just try to be straightforward. I really try to make it plain. Like I have metaphors and whatnot, but lyrically, I just here's what I'm thinking, do what you will with it. So I just want to make relatable music, and I really just want people to be inspired by the story to keep going and don't live in the what if.
Wow. As you were talking, it's almost like I got these goosebumps. And I'm like, I could feel what you were saying. You know, I like sometimes people might can just say it, but with you, it's like I was feeling it. Like, wow, wow, like that. I can hear that in your music too. I can hear it. Like you actually want to make a difference,
Yeah.
and it's almost like for what you've been through. So you move across the country, you have a child, and you still haven't given up on your dream. That's inspirational.
And I'm
Like,
31. I'm
wow,
31. I'm not like 22 or 25. No, I'm 31.
wow,
A lot of people consider this old. I don't. I don't at
right.
all.
It's not. It's not at all, so welcome to the 30s club.
Well, so don't let age trip you either. So
Absolutely. So, um, so like you said, your husband is a script writer. Are you guys working on any other like projects together coming up
we
that the
have like
world's
a
ready?
we have a couple of things that we're in the works of talking about. Like we've talked about doing a joint show. So like he would open up with his stand-up comedy because he does stand-up as well. He's freaking hilarious. And he does stand up around Nashville and he's starting to branch out. He signed up for some things in Atlanta, Huntsville. Like he
Wow.
he's gonna be he is already it's just someone got to discover him. And he's an amazing scriptwriter. Like he has such a beautiful mind. But yeah, we've talked about doing joint shows. I'm a writer, period. Like I write songs, I write think pieces, I just write. So naturally I'm really pretty good with like helping him with scripts and helping him come up with ideas. So we talked about like joint scripts, like we talked about a production company. We have a lot of things in the future that's going to.
Wow. People need to follow you.
Fired Up Freedom will be right back after these messages. Do you ever look for certain services or products and it's just hard to find and you want to know if someone else has used that before? Well, visit my resources page, steveryan.com/resources, steveryan.com/resources.
Yeah,
Speaking of following, before I forget, let's plug in her Instagram.
come on
So
Instagram.
her Instagram is Jay Montae Music. So that's JAYMU. Oh, I'm sorry. JAYMONTAEMUSIC. So definitely follow her like immediately. If you're listening to this or watching this, like just go ahead and go on the app
You do.
and follow her like right now. In fact, I'm going to do the same right now as we're talking. I'm going to follow her right now.
Come on, follow button. I'm here for it.
So that's Jay Montae Music. So like 1 second, I'm putting you in right now. So there we go. Got you. It says
Woo-woo.
just jazz, please follow. I like that. It says wife, mother, Nashville. I teach, I sing, I write, I shimmy.
I'm a sorority. Yes, it's a sorority too.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. That is pretty awesome. Now, if you want to plug in for your husband's comedy, you can. If you want to tell us where to find him as well. I mean, if he's
Uh,
around, tell him to come say hi for a second.
oh yeah. Well, he's not here at
Oh,
the
okay,
moment,
I
but
got you.
yeah, I'm trying to remember because he changed his Instagram. But Carlton Fripp, I want to say it's Carlton No Banks
Oh,
on IG or something of the sort. But yeah, definitely follow him. He has Facebook, he has IG. We're currently working on websites for the both of us.
oh,
But
good.
yeah, and if you're in and around Nashville, definitely come out. He performs at Twin Kegs a lot, and
Mhm.
he's been doing some comedy at Third Coast. So yeah, he's really solid. I'll send over some of his stand up after this.
Oh, cool. Ashley, invite him to the show. You can come on back to the show too.
Yes, let's go.
I mean, I know it's booked up, but just just email and I'll squeeze you in somewhere. Don't ignore all
Yes,
that unavailable. To we'll find a way to squeeze you in.
I'm here for it. Ooh, yes.
so, so like this, just the writer, the mother, the music. So like, and any question you don't want to answer, just feel free to say, you know what, I'll pass. So,
I'm
like, how has
mostly
being
good.
a mother changed you as an artist, if anything?
I haven't thought about that. How has being a mother changed me as an artist? I don't think it's changed like the artistry necessarily because I wasn't like I was never one of those like, oh my gosh, when I become a mom, I'm gonna have to tone it down all the way. Like, no. Like I don't say anything like too outlandish in my opinion that would require me to like water down anything. But I think I actually just talked to my husband about this like last week. It's not like a motivation, or I don't feel like it's motivation, but it's like if I know I got my daughter on my back, like I cannot drop her. Like I whatever it is I'm gonna do, I gotta go all out and I gotta be successful at it. I don't know how it's gonna work. I know that not everything is gonna be perfect and
Right.
trim and neat, but like I cannot drop the ball and just have her think like it's okay if I don't live out my dreams. No, if you want to live out your dreams, go for it no matter what happens. So I think that's pretty much like the only thing that's really like changed. Like before it was it's okay. Like no, it's not okay. Like I gotta go for it. So not
Wow.
the music necessarily, just the mindset.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So really having a child for you has motivated you and pumped you up even to a even higher level. Like you were already on 10, it just puts you on 100.
Yeah. Mhm.
Because now it's like, I got to do this. I got to make this is so inspiring. I hope that anybody out there listening, if they have a dream and let's say they become a parent, whether suspected or unexpected, follow Jay Montae's example that you don't have to give up, that you can keep moving forward. Like that's I'm looking I'm so excited about where you're heading. Like, I mean, from the I'm broke to your story, like wow, that's so inspiring. Like I'm almost I wish I could just run around right now and do a cartwheel because like hearing that what if, like that what if that really struck. What if? Stop wondering what if and do. You're actually doing it.
Yeah. I'm
Wow.
here in these streets trying and winning.
and and you know what's great is that you have a supportive partner. And that shows like people have to have that try to have that supportive system, and if they didn't have that supportive partner they still got to have that support from within, because I
Mhm.
feel that strength coming from you, like no matter what, this is what you're going to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm here
And
for it.
yeah. And so like, not to say that you have any regrets, but if you could go back in time and let's say you could mentor yourself, what advice would you give yourself even 5 years ago or 10 years ago?
Um, I think I think I was in a perfect position 5 years ago because
Mhm.
that's when I had left, teaching for the first time.
Okay.
That's when I left teaching for the first time, and I just, like, put myself in a position where it's like, I wanna go explore some other things." So I was straight 5 years ago. I would say 10 years ago, I was 21. Yeesh. Lord, I was 21. That was an interesting time. Uh, I would have I truthfully, I don't have any regrets. I
Well, it's
really
not so much regret. Like if you had like let's say that we have somebody who's 21 or 25 listening, and you had a word of advice, to got from where you are
mhm.
now from where you were, like if you had to mentor yourself, in other words, if you say, okay, even though I don't have any regrets, here's what I would tell myself as far as mentoring. What would you tell someone like you?
Um, I would have jumped sooner. I would
All
probably
right.
I would have jumped sooner. I mean, I like I'm typically, or I've gotten better with this, but I've always like had this. I have a plan, blah blah blah, and I still do have plans and
Hmm.
whatnot. Um, and I always had like a backup plan for my backup plan.
Right.
I would have gone without the backup plan and just do what it is that I wanted to do. Like I knew from Jump Street that I wanted to get into songwriting, I wanted to get into vocal coaching and whatnot. I would have taken more initiative to make that jump as opposed to like staying on that. Here's your college track. Now go be a teacher, blah, blah, blah. I would have jumped sooner. So
Hmm.
I would encourage other people, if you have something in you and like you're good at it, not like my voice is no, like you're good at it, just do it. Do it. And whatever bumps and bruises come along, you'll heal from it. Just
Right.
hit the jump.
What's that song? What doesn't kill you make you stronger.
Uh-huh.
That's so true. Yeah. So we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yep.
Fired Up Freedom will be right back after these messages. Do you ever have moments where you feel stress, anxiety, or it's hard to sleep? Then meditation may be the perfect thing to help you. Come and join our meditation channel where there's 24 hours a day on demand meditation music. It's time to have freedom from the noise.
All right. So, like, you said vocal coaching, like, do you teach vocal coaching as well?
Kind of, sort of, still.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a music teacher. So I work with students. Some of the students that I've had in the past, like they've gone over to Bulgaria to sing operas. I've had some folks in my choir that go on and record for bigger artists. I've actually had my students, um, they sung on the same stage as like Vanessa Bell Armstrong, the gospel singer, Clark sisters. Yeah, so I've worked with a couple of people as far as my students are concerned. So yeah.
oh, wow. So you're actually like making a real difference. Like, wow,
Mhm.
that is so, so inspiring.
That's another one of the reasons, like on top of my daughter, it's one of the other reasons why I wanted to go and pursue my dreams so that I can come back with information to give to my students. Like, okay, here's what it's like in the industry.
Right.
So it's also one of my, I guess, motivating points.
Right. Are you gonna have like maybe like a future blog or info on that on your website? Like maybe what if you got like other people out there who want to connect to you, like and they're, like in the crowd and it's like, hey, we want to connect to her because like, wow, she's so inspiring.
I've thought about blogs, but right now I just have like TikTok and Facebook. That's how everybody has been connecting with me, and that's where I
Right.
do like a lot of my story and whatnot. So,
Okay. Is it the same name as the Instagram for TikTok and Facebook? Jay Montae
um,
Music?
Jay Montae Music. I have not made a TikTok for Jay Montae Music, but I also have like a separate brand called Passionate Black Educator, and that's where I talk about a lot of my story as well.
Oh, on TikTok and that's
Hmm.
on Facebook as well under that.
Hmm.
So Passion for Black Educator.
Passionate Black Educator.
Oh, Passionate Black Educator. All right.
Yep.
So for those of you listening, if you're on TikTok right now or Facebook right now, go to Passionate Black Educator. Wow. Like I can't wait to follow you on that and check your stuff out because like that's gonna be inspiring. Like, is there any story that come to mind, like something that you've recently done that you want to share?
Hmm. Anything that I've recently done that I
Or
like?
anything that comes to mind. I know I'm
Not.
asking all these thinking questions.
Mm-mm. I'm trying to remember. Like, I'm drawing a blank. I was like, what is the last thing I posted on TikTok? I
So
have not got a clue.
Right.
I can't think
So
about it at the top of my head, but I definitely like talk about the world of music education, the world
right.
of education, my thoughts on various things on that particular page. So
Oh, that's cool.
mhm.
So, like, and so with your music, so you have I'm broke out. Do you have any other music out as well?
Not yet.
Okay.
I plan on probably doing a live version of I'm Broke, so be on the lookout for that. And I definitely want to get in and record an EP of the songs that I've been working on over the past couple years. So just be on the lookout for new music.
Yeah. We're definitely going to be looking out for that.
Mhm.
So, like, who would you say have been some of your influences as an artist?
As an artist,
Mhm.
hmm,
Because your sound is unique. It really is. Like, I can't really even put together like a reference. Like, oh, yep, you remind me of this person or that person. Like, who would you say have influenced you? Because it sounds like a combination, like a collage. You know?
yeah, I want to say who are some of my influences? Definitely, like if you listen to I'm Broke, you're going to hear a lot of different genres that influenced it. So, like
Right.
in the bridge, you hear that I'm classically trained.
Yes.
Um, in the end of the song, you hear heavy guitar. You hear a lot of jazz influence, and that was my first love. So, like, definitely Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and Billie Holiday. They those three women definitely influenced my sound.
Yeah.
Just the rawness of their voice. And who else? Chrisette Michelle. I was influenced a lot by her, not only her voice, but her songwriting style. And let me see. I would say other two influences, Tank from Tank and the Bangers. I love that she's literally a poet. She's
Right.
a poet, but she's also one of those who makes it pretty plain to me. Like she uses beautiful metaphors, but it's not like over the top where you can't like what on like I gotta go to geniuslyrics.com to figure out what she's saying. So I definitely love not only her voice but her songwriting style. And then No Name, the rapper. I love No Name. She's definitely one of my heavy influences. So it's like I have a love for various types of music, but definitely those how many women did I name? Those 6 women
Six.
definitely
Yeah.
definitely have impacted my sound.
That makes sense because when I was hearing I'm broke, it's like I was feeling all that, all those genres. I was feeling all that. But the beauty of it, of what I like, is how you made it into your own. So even though those styles influenced you, it's like you're still carving out Jay Montae, you know?
Mhm.
And that's like people don't realize, like, as an artist, it can be hard to find identity. Like it can take a while. And that even though that's your only song out right now, it feels like you found your identity. It just feels like you put that work in.
It honestly does feel like that, and I think that's another reason why it may have taken so long, because when I first moved to Nashville, I was writing and I was doing a whole lot of like finding my voice, finding my writing style. And then when I finally hit a stride with I'm Broke, I was like, I think I found my sound. And I didn't want to have to like I appreciate artists who evolve over time. I absolutely love it. But I didn't want to be those artists where it's like you clearly see that they weren't comfortable being who they were in their first couple of songs. And then it's like you randomly hear this song by them and it's like, okay, this feels more like you. Like I wanted to come out the gate and it feel like, okay, this is you, but we're going to expect some growth over time.
Right. Yes, that makes sense.
Mhm.
That's like I commend you for that because that's a hard thing to do as an artist, and I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really about like being honest with yourself, and it feels like you've been honest with yourself earlier on, and that's a place that a lot of people don't get to, not that quickly. They have to go through a lot of extra trials and tribulations to get to honesty.
It's a lot of extra trials and tribulations to get to honesty, and it's also like I feel like we live in a world, or we live in a time period of instant gratification. So it's like a lot of people. I'm about to sound real country when I say it. A lot of people don't want to cook the oxtails on the stove or in the oven. They want to throw it in the microwave and think it's going to be fine. Like, no, you cannot put oxtails in the microwave. Like, if you really want longevity, like, yes, you're gonna have to find your sound, but you also gotta be honest with yourself. Like, just don't go out there recording things that you just don't feel comfortable with.
Right.
Like, I can honestly say 10 years from now, I'm gonna feel comfortable with I'm broke. Like, I won't be broke, and I'm not broke, but hey, at the time, at the place where I was, that was my story. That was my truth. And I'm going to feel comfortable 10 years from now saying, yeah,
Yeah.
$1.15.
I like how you just keep it real. Like you're straight, just like you said, just straightforward. Here I am. I think people are going to love that. They are going to love it, because it's like this is the discovery of Jay Montae. Like this is like if you want to be motivated, if you want to know that you can be yourself, listen to Jay Montae. Step into her world. Hit her up on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, but step into her world and get that energy.
Oh, yeah.
This is so awesome. And so like when you were discovering yourself, or when you as an artist, as far as who you are, how would you say, if I don't know if you've thought about it or not, or if you do think about it, how would you say you came into your identity? Like,
Hmm.
is it something that you just knew, or is it something that you had? You know how earlier you were saying don't do something you uncomfortable with? Like, did you have a moment of that with other stuff before you recorded I'm Broke, or did you just always knew who you were?
I've had things when I was like in high school. And I actually recorded one song, and back then you had like a demo on a CD. I know that's like pretty ancient for folks who may be listening, but uh, I had a demo. I was singing, I was rapping, and that was around the time where like Sierra was big. Who else? Like ATL had this whole sound.
Mhm.
And I recorded that song, and lyrically, I would say, like, that was definitely my truth. Um, but sound-wise, it was just like, mm. I feel like that sound was definitely it wasn't like a timeless sound. And
Right.
then, like and this is one of the reasons why I could say, like, you gotta really be honest with yourself. Like, I would go into the studio to, like, try to record, like, an entire album, and my songs were, like, all over the place. They were all over the place, like, there was no story to be told on the album. It was like my mind at the time, my ears were listening to artists like Lauryn Hill and India Ari and Lupe Fiasco and Talib Kweli. Like I was going through like a very conscious time period, and like I had a lot of heavy jazz influence or heavy like Afrocentric influence in the music that I listened to, but I was trying to keep up with the times whenever I would go and sing. And the
Right.
producer, he caught wind of it and he was like, "You're not ready to record an album. You need to figure out your sound." So I got that advice. That was when I was like 16. I got
Mm.
that advice like early on. He was like, "I think you need to take some time out, and I think you really need to figure out your sound." Truth be told, did I ever go back and record that album? No.
Yeah.
But it took me a while, but I figured it out.
Yeah.
I took that advice, I figured it out, I figured out my sound. So, yeah, I think the early recording and just, like, hearing that advice contributed a lot to, like, why I'm so comfortable with, like, "Okay, here it is."
That makes sense. And what did you do to help yourself discover your sound?
I just took time and listened to a lot of music. Like I said, my taste in music is all over the place, but like at the end of the day, when I stand in front of a mic, what do I feel comfortable with what comes out of my mouth? What are
Right.
my ears going to be okay with years from now? Because like I can go back lyrically, like I said, the song I recorded when I was 16, I'm here for it. Sound wise, cringe. Don't want to ever play it for anybody. So yeah, I think just really taking the time to be honest with myself and figuring out what I felt comfortable with singing really played a big part into it.
Mhm. That makes sense. So, did you produce Unbroke yourself, or did you have a producer produce that?
No, no, no.
Uh,
I sing, I write, produce, I do not.
okay.
Um, honesty. No, Nick Lozano, he's a Nashville producer by way of Chicago.
Hmm.
Fabulous. I would say like he played a huge part in me figuring out my sound and just he was like he's a top tier producer to me. But for somebody like myself, it was my first time recording a song by myself that I wrote myself, like no parents involved, no outside influence. Like he was so amazing, not only in the producing process, but just like showing me the ropes. Like, here's how you do this, here's how you promote this. You might want to get playlist and blah blah blah. Like he's just an all out dope person. So shout out to Nick. Love you, Nick.
That's so awesome. Like, and like when he was doing that producing process with you, like, were you involved when it came to like how you wanted it to sound, like the music and things like that?
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I don't produce, but because I'm a music teacher and I've been
Mhm.
like singing since I was in 4th grade and like I went to an art school and I hear the song all the way through in my mind before I ever go and get it produced majority of time. So yeah, I knew exactly how I wanted it to go as far as like chordal structures. And then he would go and say, what about this chord? And I was like, okay, here are the instruments that I'm hearing. Ooh, 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 ooh. And we just knocked it out. A lot of the times I would sing how parts would go, and he'd be
Hmm.
like, "Okay, I got you." And he would go write it out, get it to whoever instrumentalist uh, that's needed, and they would knock it out the park. It was pretty dope.
Wow. Well, it sounds to me like you are a producer, even if you don't think you are.
I'm a producer in my mind. I just don't
Right,
know
right, right.
how to
How to
press.
use the program. I got you.
Mhm. Don't ask me to press no buttons. Maybe on the keyboard. Mm-mm, don't.
See, that's the engineering, and where I was coming at from it is that when I was hearing "I'm Broke," like it sounded like you, like the music in "I'm Broke." The music sounded like you. It sounded like you had a hand in it. You can
Oh
just
yeah.
tell. It didn't seem like somebody just made a beat for you and you did it. It's like you helped create it.
Oh yeah, I definitely have my hand in that. But when
Yeah.
you say producer, I'm just like, no, I did not press a button.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you think an engineer.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I really feel like it's important for people, even if they can't use a program, to learn enough to have a hand in their stuff. And it sounds like that's what you did. Like you were familiar with how you wanted things. You were able to describe how you wanted things to go. And you were able to say, here's what I'm feeling. Like, and that's what people have to do in part of finding their sound, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Mhm.
Because
Because
one thing I say to people is like, if you if you want your future and how your creativity goes in your hand, you got to learn this stuff and know it, even if you don't know how to use the program. It sounds like that's what you've already done.
Well, when you put it like that, I might be a producer after all. Eventually, I'll get to push the buttons and be like, I'm a producer and engineer. But yeah,
Right.
definitely like if you go into this, and this is something that I push for my kids too, like
Mhm.
you have to know how to read music? No. But it
Right.
does help to like learn some of the instruments and learn chord structure and learn like various timbres, because like is it truly your idea at the end of the day if like yeah you may have written the lyrics, you're able to rap it, you're able to perform it, but you don't have any control over the instrumentation because you can't vocalize like how you want it to sound, other than oh
Right.
this is good, this is not.
Yeah.
So
Wow. That, you given, if somebody listens to this or watch this, they're going to get a lot of good information, because you've described like, but as an artist, if somebody want to find their sound, they need to study. They need to. That's what you said you did. You listened to music. You were honest with yourself. Felt like you had some conversations with yourself. You're learning chord structures of how you want things. Like you took the time out to learn. You know, and that's a huge. And you have the mentality not to give up and to keep going. Like giving up is not even an option. And you're inspiring other people, you're teaching other people, so you got all of it going on. This is so inspirational. Like having a guest like you is really, really awesome, and that's what this is about: inspiring other people. I can't
appreciate it.
wait for people to meet you, like.
I think I'm an okay person in person. I think I'm all right. Mhm.
Yeah. So when so if you listening, folks, if you have not gone to Instagram yet, shame on you. J Jay Montae Music, JayMontae Music. Just go to
Mhm.
Instagram. Everything else you can link up after that. But and
Most
if you want to
definitely.
hear the stories, I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Say it one more time for the TikTok for the
TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok through my other brand, Passionate Black Educator.
that's
And
it.
of course, I have Jay Montae Music on Instagram and whatnot. So,
Was there any final words that you want to say or have to say?
definitely check out my music. It's on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, the whole nine. We in there. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Once again, my handles are Jay Montae Music, JayMontae Music, spelled normally, for Instagram. And you can also follow my other brand, Passionate Black Educator. And yeah, be sure to also catch my music video for I'm Broke on YouTube.
All right. Well, it was great having you on. This wraps it up for today's edition of Fired Up Friday with Jay
Bye,
Montae.
Jay Montae. Whoop, whoop.
Can't wait to have you on again.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you welcome.
Running from myself at times I can't describe the words I try.